Hey, what's going on? This is Anthony, Diary of an Adopted Son. Okay, so I'm shooting this series again. Shout out to my auntie Bird, who encouraged me to continue to keep doing it. Okay, I was going to do it anyway, but she encouraged me to do it. So today I want to talk about, like, what does it feel like growing up being adopted, okay, and not ever seeing your biological mother or father. Okay, so let me try to explain this to you. So with me growing up, it's kind of weird. Like, my biological father, Willie, like, I always felt like he actually knew about me. It was strange. Like, I always felt like he knew I existed, even though I never seen him before, if that makes sense. You know, I saw him when I was a little kid because I was adopted when I was like 2. But it's strange. Like, I always felt like he knew I existed. Like, on my birthday especially, I always was like, you know what? He's out there somewhere and he knows about me. He knows when my birthday is. He knows that I exist and he cares for me. For some reason, I felt like my biological father, Willie, I always felt like he cared about me for some reason, even though he never spoke to me. That's how you can actually have a connection with your children without you actually seeing them, which is very interesting. We're not seeing them for a long time, which is very interesting. And so nobody can ever break that connection. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of how I felt like growing up adopted. Even though I didn't see my biological mother, Cynthia, I always felt like her love from a distance as well. And I think that's how most adopted children feel. You know, I think they feel, or at least they want to feel, that their blood mother and father actually care about them, even though they haven't seen them. Okay. So all these videos are under 5 minutes. I'm not going to hold you long, but I just wanted to make this video about because some people can't fathom not growing up with their biological mother and father in a home or being able to have access to them, which makes a lot of sense. But I don't know, like with me, I was told I was adopted when I think my name had changed from Yates to Tillman. Okay. When I was in like 4th grade, I think her name was Mrs. Hill. And she was I remember her being in my business, like, how'd your name just change? And I don't know how that happened because I was adopted when I was 2, but my last name had changed from Yates to Tillman when I was in like 2nd grade or 4th grade. So however that worked, but I always felt, I didn't feel like it was that big of a deal, to be honest with you. I understand now that it may be in like some trauma, like being detached from my biological mother, but growing up, not having my biological mother and father in the home, I really didn't see it as a big deal. Like, I don't know. I understood that my mother, Mary Tillman and Charles, I understood that they were my adopted parents, but I never like saw them like that. I never had like traumatic experiences like, oh, I don't see my mother and father. They're not around me. It sucks. As a kid and growing up, I guess we was just having too much fun growing up. I had a great childhood growing up with Mary and Charles Tillman, you know, as my adoptive parents in the household. Like, I had a great time. You know, my brothers and sisters, my cousins, you know, most of these people were not blood family members, but they really showed me love. Like, I really missed my childhood. It was really fun. You know, my cousin Kisa coming over on the weekends, which is actually my niece. It's Ben's daughter, Kisa, but we called her our cousin. And then my sisters Tasha and Trina coming to visit on the weekends, you know, or every other month. Like, it really was nice. But growing up without this whole video, the whole purpose is, what is it like growing up without your mother and father being adopted? And for me, it wasn't that big of a deal, I guess, until I had my own children. And then I kind of really want to start to try to find my biological father. Okay. And, you know, just to see where I come from, and meeting his family was a whole great experience, of course. You know, my aunties, you guys already have that video. If you don't have that video, I'll link it right here, or it'll be in the description below. But yeah, growing up without my mother and father in the home, biological, sometimes, I mean, I did feel like a product sometimes because I know my parents were getting paid off of me being adopted. But even though they showed us love, don't get it twisted. But sometimes I did feel like a product of the system because I knew people were getting paid because I was adopted. So that's something that I probably have to deal with at a later date or whatever. But It's 5 minutes. It's coming up. Thanks for watching. Diary of an Adopted Son continues. Thanks for watching.